Green. That. What's that?
Teraz ask my movie.
And again, I like this. I think John was that of they can talk and break down. Well, yeah. Okay, there was where we still
Whatever.
and still dollars and Gospel. Like now, what's
Go to the
that's exciting. Sweet. Well, it's gonna put together a little bit different than the not quite sports so forth. But we're gonna see who here is qualified to vote in my election. So make the team, you have to get 100% of these questions correct. So I'm giving you this time, probably 5 minutes or so, to answer those questions. Do this individually, and we'll come back and we'll see who's gonna pass this.
Yeah, we're in there. Yeah.
They
Stop.
what game? Alright. Some of you might not be finished, but that's okay. We're gonna go over the answers. All you can grade your own. See like 100% on it. How was it finer? Wait, you go back to the question. Yeah. There's so way. And then on 2, 3, A. I started saying, we wrote off me. What were the six? Correct. I didn't know first one. Why is it that? Every third from the beginning. Yeah. That's on better. 1 out of 5 or
Wait.
2 out of 5? Good for you. 4. Feelings. So you're looking fairly back. Actually, I'm gonna know it makes sense now, but you guys, no, you guys might not start it from the back. Okay. Do you think that was fair? Do you think that was yes? Why was that fair? I'm not really. No way. Fair, everybody had the same tool to work with. It's fair because everyone had the same tool to work with? Yeah. Okay. So I didn't like tell him the answers, but not tell him, look, well, everybody started at the same place and had the same goals with the same instructions. Yeah, I'm curious about it. Yeah, I can see that. Anything else? Any more thoughts? I might have to get you guys listen up. Listen to me. But based on your education, it might put you at a disadvantage. So that we're gonna talk about an actual test was like that those questions were based off. It's called the 1965 Alabama Literacy Test. So we're going to talk about some barriers that caused, and we're also going to address some breakthroughs. Voting Rights Act, 1965, and also the suffrage amendments. So if we're going to jump into some history, we're not going to do as much learning as we are really feeling and understanding what it was like to be completely blocked from voting. So, 1965 Alabama literacy test. So we talked a little bit about literacy tests last Thursday, right? Remember what that was? What is that? Just did one, right?
It was a test that was kind of used to help keep the less educated people from voting. I guess is the way to put it. Not necessarily less educated, totally just hard sense.
To see it.
Advanced.
Yeah, that makes sense. To see if they like it's not.
And so you notice, right, how I failed even the people that got 5 out of 5. So when it comes to this test, a white registrar could grade it subjective, meaning that they could fail you if they wanted to. You know what? I don't like Victor's hat. That's oh, sorry about that. Yeah, Devin, my bad. So I don't like Devin's hat. So you know what? I'm failing. It's because
You know my answer would be?
okay.
I don't like the class.
Okay, there we go. You can fail me based off of just who I am first, right? So also, Devin, you said that you would not want to vote, right?
No, I would. I absolutely want to vote. I failed that. No, being real.
Wouldn't you agree that it's kind of intimidating if you had to pass a test like that? Something that's overly confusing and doesn't make any sense at all. Would that discourage you from voting?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, yeah, it would. Yeah, so actually, I'm gonna pull out you. Look at the said they could answer some of these questions.
Great.
Stop. You know those? You know those?
Yeah, covered. This is
Awesome. Yeah. So you don't want them, right?
But like
So it's still.
what was your word there?
talk about it. Really, and then feel great. Let's see if you remember what was. 1965 Alabama literacy test. What did it do? Had the top of it in order to vote. Okay. Good. What else? All right, let's focus up. Focus up. Focus up.
If you passed it and I didn't want you to vote, I could just tell you no anyways.
Yep. Exactly.
Why?
They did what, Evan?
That's all. Oh, you can't vote. Sorry, you're different felony percentage. Yes.
Exactly. So we're gonna watch a little video, and this has to do with a personal story of how we're gonna start seeing some voting breakthroughs since the Alabama years passed. So I want you to watch this.
If it's like this, we're all around like that, and present, spirit, welcome before time more. As you get ready to vote this year, we're gonna put Alabama played and making the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Yeah, something to celebrate with them, not for the nation. Something extremely honest, like, you see, and they really your current call, make sure that
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna report that.
When the fans show me around, he was quick to point out to the radio, let's go. You hear about it, video made for that. Leading out to the back. But came into the out.
Okay. Sorry, technology is not working for me today, so please bear with me. Okay, so talked about a very big voting barrier that happened in the South. Now we're going to talk about a voting breakthrough. So the Voting Rights Act, 1965, completely outlawed literacy tests. So why do you think that this was still necessary breakthrough, even though African Americans had the right to vote?
Because white people weren't wanting them to vote, so they're trying to figure out any way to keep them from doing so.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. We're still coming up with these indirect barriers and ways that we can prevent them from voting. Even though they have the right to vote, we're going to find ways to deny their ballots. So that also includes federal oversight. What does that mean? What does it mean when there's going to be a federal oversight for the election?
Yeah, people need to.
Yeah. Either making sure that you don't do anything unconstitutional, right? Yeah, good. So officially, this act protects voting access. What do you think voting access is? Also,
Pay attention to the
it's the ability to vote. Ability to vote. Voting access. Okay. Yeah, no, it essentially eliminates all other barriers that can happen. Right? Good. You understand? Yeah. So just talking about voting barriers as in the literacy test, and then voting rights act. Now we're going to transition into an activity. So, Ernesto, can you pass out that bridge? I don't think that. Okay, let's sit around the room. In front of many stations. Right? complete each one before we rotate. But for each one, you're gonna fill in which year it was passed and the voting barrier of the rest. You're also going to say who had power, who didn't, before and after the vote. So for example, what I think amendment is. Right. So when they're before, not have the ability to vote, but and for example. So it's all you have to do. It's very simple. And then at each station, there will be a question posed to you for each specific one. Does that sound good? Do you understand that? All right, cool. I'll number you off now. Don't wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, we're supposed to go in groups.
1, 2, 3. Usually 4. You're 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 7, 3, 4, and 5. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5. Yes, yes. Or I didn't make these so long, and then we're in all, so you're gonna go back there. And we're gonna start with one thing, however, sign the got you understand or do you need to got you here. Section. Oh, nice. All right. Rotate. What? What?
Got some sass to him, huh? You have outside the mouth.
Or like fish next camera.
Oh, I think I've based off my own. What base? I don't know.
I think it's LCA seven. I don't bet that I'm sure it's one.
I think it's for.
Is it called?
Um,
Is it the other one? Mr. Lemmy, you gotta read that, but.
Seven.
Last one, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Are you over there now?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's the first.
For cheap.
It's actually good. Station. Okay. Yes. Have everything complete or finished.
Like rashes.
Oh, you're.
Doesn't look that.
Alright, let's everybody in. Yeah. Which one? Okay. Each one really. That sound good? Alright. Yeah, that's right. Listen to Devin. Okay. 15th Amendment. What was that about? It was what? What did he say? Rape. What? How did they address the rear? What? One more time? What? Right. Amendment. Alright, what's the next amendment? What's the next step? 19? Alright, who got the right to vote there? Women. Alright, what's the next one?
23.
23? Alright, can you explain to me what 23 was? Or what that was?
23 allowed the residents of Washington D.C. to vote in the election.
Yeah, so originally they did not have the right to vote. They got to pay taxes, they were regular citizens.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, they had no say because it was a different type of administration than state, right? So for a while, they got left out of the vote. Alright, what's the next one? 24. What's that one? Talk about poll tax in class a little bit, where you had to pay before you were allowed to vote. What did LBJ say about it? Not LeBron James. Who's LBJ?
Started.
Yeah, the quote up on the wall. Is that a little more free? No. What? Voting time. Where was that? Yeah. It's okay. It's good. Wait, what is LBJ say? Who the president is that?
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Alright, good. That's good that we know that. Not LeBron James. What's the last one? 26. Can you explain that one to me, Doug? Class?
It was already voting age for so you used to be 21 or older. Yeah, you had to be 21 or older to vote, not to be grown.
Yeah, do you know why they dropped the voting age from 21 to 18? You know why they did that? Yeah.
If they can fight that, then you can drink too. It's not great to say. You guys back that up. Back that up.
That's exactly right. We had 18-year-olds going up to Vietnam, bleeding out, dying. And
Here's a
yet,
question for you.
oh,
So if we can vote for who our government is, go or we can go to war and literally die, why can't people of the age of 18 drink? That's what I want, but they're dying, so they can go out and fight for the country and die. Like they did. They did when they signed that book. They signed.
What? They didn't choose to vote.
I mean, right now.
that's a valid question. Right. Right now?
Yes.
So you think the drinking age should be lowered to 18?
I mean, people
That's-
say that. I would
that's-
just keep.
There's good ways. Oh yeah, that's a valid question. Put in some research into that. Share it. Yeah. That's
Huh? You have her gonna be. Okay.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, remember that that's what you like. There, we do a simulation where Bob said it.
Oh, we can join the class? Cherry said to me.
Thanks for your participation in the activity. I really appreciate that. I hope that you took away something because as we see throughout history, breakthroughs, right? Voting rights, individual rights, overturning these barriers that we have in place that are limiting, restricting our access to be participating, representing our democracy. So yeah, thank you for your participation. But we're gonna take now until the end of class to finish up that exit ticket on the back side. If you're gonna work on that individually, let's try to stay focused, stay on our phone.
Are we turning this?
No. Yeah, throw it away. Are we turning this in? Yes, you're turning in the exit ticket. Already did it. Just do that. Okay, I'll actually take these up in the class notes, alright? Alright.
No.
Oh, is government be a lot more like, yeah, involved, like controversial? So
Like controversy?
I love controversy.
It's the best. There's two simulations we do. So one called that I do here. Put it out. I'll start a conversation. Just do it out.
I can.
Okay.
Next. 300. Yeah. Yeah. To do a mock senate, which are Congress that do some thing with court system. I guess controversy previous to Well, I let you berate somebody.
I don't hate anybody. I'll speak my truth. I'll speak it. I'm proud. It's gonna be on the paper, right?
Huh?
What's that paper about?
Good.
Yeah, all right.
Well, yeah, I'll do those like, you know.
What's the certificate?
That's one of
Okay.
The term, that's what he said about it.
That's
Worth it to them.
what was very, I like something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, pretty well. It's a fucking. Thanks. Sure.
Yeah, speak to what now? Where's you going back? Five.
Thinking of, yeah. Actually, I'll see with you for this.
My question was.
So I was able to go on. I think it really all reminded of the night women work. For
Mexico. Seriously, I'm crazy.
Oh, did the fire right in the point?
No. Once I'm chilling on temporary table, so just kind of great stats. It's like God. See, piss the room. Yeah. And versus on the stuff.
Get to that point. Okay.
If it is like this, will often comment that the jargon publicly register to vote. Kira, locking the courthouse door. As you get ready to vote this year, we have to push Alabama played and it, you know, the price act of 1965, the reality. From, and our literature, now message preserve. He's
Sam Walker lived some of the history on display at the National Voting Rights Museum Institute itself. Get out the Good. Project later right for yeah. 10 days later, returned home after that degree was preserved. Then he was museum's historian. I'm going to go away. When Sam showed me around, he was quick to point out the story of the foot soldiers. You hear about it, videotape of that team leading out of the front. But in the all these people walking into the next room, but oh, now, men and women, young and old, who marched for voting rights during Bloody Sunday on the Hempstead Bridge, were the 5-day march from Selma to Montgomery. Now, when you walk through the museum, you'll see footprints. Those footprints are from the foot soldiers who have shared and recorded their stories at the museum, some 3,000 of them today. The steps they took in history, now on display, black and white pictures that capture the violence others faced in the 1960s. Those very images were shared around the globe at the time and helped turn the struggle for voting rights in Alabama to a nationwide issue. You don't want to talk about time in history when you do it, it's like choosing better. While the 15th Amendment guaranteed African Americans the right to vote, exercising that right was not easy in some southern states like Alabama.
In 1901, they instituted Jim Crow laws and black codes into that constitution, mainly to keep African Americans from exercising their rights to vote. So things like the grandfather clause, which was a clause that said if your grandfather was a slave and could not vote, then you cannot vote, instituted into that constitution, as well as literacy tests and poll taxes.
Charles Woods III is the education program manager at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute. He says when African Americans began to exercise their right to protest with the Montgomery bus boycott in the 1950s, the civil rights movement really started to take shape, and along the way, one state was ground zero.
Montgomery was where the southern states seceded from the Union to create the Confederacy. And it's also the same place where Martin Luther King stood on those steps to give a fire speech about why voters fight for it.
Radio spotted a few campaign signs right across from the museum, a sign that an election is just around the corner. Inside, there are signs everywhere, reminding us that the right to vote for African Americans in that election didn't come easy. That fight should never be forgotten. That's why 27 years after he first walked these halls, Sanders here day after day, sharing their history and inspiring others to go out and make their own. I want them to be able to see themselves in some of these pictures, some of these statements. But God, believe them. These were not elite people, these were not special. They just want to do what they could to make their situation better. Every individual can do what they can to make a difference. Ian Roberts, WBTM, 13 years.
This year marks 150 years since the 15th Amendment was added and 55 years since President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act.
Consumer lighter replacing gadget is quickly becoming the most popular Christmas gift. I thought out every setting fire, starting flames easier than ever.
Okay. So, as you can see, pay attention to the video. Hasn't been easy, right? We just went through all these amendments, and it might just seem like a piece of paper on the wall, right? Pretty dang easy, right? But that's not how it actually was. Talked about all these voting states. I hope that you take some time, take a moment, think about the courage that it took to claim the right to vote. Courage that it still takes to claim the right to vote. Are still some barriers up, right? We have the debate of ID voter laws, right? You remember what that is? No? You have to have some sort of ID, right? Yeah. And not everybody has equal access to that. So I wanted to thank you all for being a good class and helping me out in my journey to becoming a teacher. So
Are you planning on teaching here again, or where do you want to teach that? Here.
I'll talk to you after.
I have one of those.
But yeah,
Late, bro.
does anybody else have any questions though? No?
Hey.
Pertaining to the content? Good? Alright, awesome. Yeah, just finish up those exit tickets and come hand them to me up here.
Right in front of all.
That's what I always do, so I go to gym.
But you can go on.
Every time I saw stream, go, oh, girl, it's much better. Oh, man, I should take photos. Pictures.
Where are you doing your project in Ash?
Oh, I did that. It's like,
This is about like 7 pounds.
no, it's 13 minutes.
I'm getting 50 to like.
Most of them have question. I was like, yeah, well, that's fine. There's one. I mean, it's well, once.
That's how it's working with you. I'm doing two. I'm doing. That's for students. I honestly don't know. Who do you pass the booster? You don't have to go in and how you're feeling. That's okay. Yeah, so that's for sure. Providing you should play the go over. Yeah, it's what you should do that. This will be the stuff. But everyone are wondering like I. Do you want this, Victor?
Why you don't like it? Or is that not actually working? That's the list for someone.
But this,
Said you have to look. What the hell? No, for that. I'm sure we will get Huh? Not sure. Control. Please. Was it coming to yourself? Oh, that should. Right there. Yeah. Back. Right. Oh, shade.